All right, cool guys. Nice to see you guys again. It's another workshop, another day. We're close to Friday, so I'm happy about that. Hopefully everyone is doing good. I think we're just gonna wait for 2 more minutes. I know that people are joining. So it's 11:59. So we're gonna start the workshop at 12:02. So just let's wait. But I want to see some chat, guys. Let's hopefully this workshop will be a little bit more communicative. So let's all right, just let's wait for 1 more minute and then I will just start with the presentation and I will show you today's goal. What's up, Fabio? Yes, super ledger, exactly. Okay, what's up? Yo, yo. Welcome, man. Yeah, we're just trying to have more workshops. You guys gonna see more cool workshops. Hopefully, uh, next week is gonna be cool workshop with some other team. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. All right, Leslie. You know what? It's time. It's 12:01. So let's start the workshop. I will start with the presentation and explain uh, what's going on. So let me slideshow. All right, cool. So today's goal is to have I will actually explain what's transfer admin and clear admin. So this is a really important feature in Coreum. So today we're gonna actually master the admin rights. Let's start with transfer admin first. So in the Coreum blockchain, guys, so we have something called transfer admin. If you remember last week, we talked about token clawback. We talked about IBC features, we talked about smart token extension, and we also talked about dynamic NFTs. So there's few things. There were actually a lot of different features that we talked about, but today's workshop, as I already mentioned, that's going to be around admin rights. So transfer admin, guys, you can think of as a transferring your rights to someone else. It's a really crucial function which is used to transfer administrative control or any ownership. Could be particularly through a smart contract. You can do from front end, obviously, because I have built a full stack application. So you can obviously play with it. It's basically transferring ownership from one account to another account. So obviously this functionality is really vital for any dApps or any blockchain based projects. Where where ownership and control may need to be transferred due to various reasons. Could be governance reasons, could be change in project leadership, or could be changed due to security concerns. Could be anything, right? It depends what's the protocol is doing, and I think it's a really powerful feature. So yeah, this is transfer admin, guys, and now let's hop to another slide. So it is called clear admin. So clear admin is actually opposite. Obviously, the name should be telling you guys that okay, it's about clearing the admin rights, right? So here we're gonna talk about what actually it means. So it's a function on the Coreum blockchain that allows the removal of administrative rights or a control. Could be through smart contract, could be through obviously front end, but I'm gonna be showing you through the front end today, and I will explain you how you guys can also implement transfer admin and clear admin. So this action is also significant, right? In scenarios where the decentralization of a contract is desired or when it's necessary to eliminate any single point of authority or control over the contract. So I think this is also a really powerful feature. Both features are really cool, and both are opposite, obviously, by the name. Um, so yeah, this today we're just gonna have a simple or a cool workshop, and it's gonna be to the point. So hopefully you guys will enjoy learning. So let me go back. Let me see if there's any questions. Is there any public accessible dashboard tool to bulk airdrop tokens? Would love you to find the slides from these workshops. Okay, sure. Artik, I will definitely next post. I will actually tell the marketing team to push these slides so you guys can also understand what's the meaning. And obviously, we're gonna be sharing the GitHub repo as well. If you guys wanna play with the code, obviously customize it, customize with your own tokens, do whatever you want, right? So all right, cool. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. I know that there was few issues back then. Let me try to zoom in. Um, is my screen visible to you guys? Everything is good. Can you see my screen? Let me see the comments first, and then is my screen visible, guys? I know that's back in the workshops. There were a few people complaining about the zoom in and zoom out. If it's not, then I will just. Okay, looks good. Perfect. All right, cool. If it looks good, then we're good. Okay. So let me show you what I am doing here. So this is a React application. Within this React application, we have obviously source, we have public where the all assets are there, right? And then I have a source folder. That's where my application is. I'm gonna be obviously explaining you later on what these files and how you can also customize it. So right now we're going to talk about the admin rights. So this code is actually, I have wrote this code in Golang. So if you guys don't know Golang, I think it's going to be a problem, but I will still try to explain you guys how you guys can write a code, because for past few workshops, I have been explaining both custom BASM contracts and the Go code, right? It's not only, okay, I'm only doing one thing, because I think Go and Rust is actually used in every single blockchain, whether it's Cosmos, whether it's Ethereum. No, I'm not talking about the smart contract, but I'm talking about the low level side where Rust and Go is used every single where, doesn't matter. So I think it's really good if you guys can understand the concept, or if you guys can understand this language. I think it will help you guys immensely. Similar with Golang, similar with Rust. If you can master these two languages, I think it will be really awesome. You guys gonna thank me later. Okay, but anyways, this was about this was just giving me, just giving you a few points how to start your journey in Golang or Rust. JS, JavaScript, I know that you guys should be aware of it, but I think Golang people think was hard, but it's not that it's not that hard. But anyways, let's start. Okay, so we have few imports. That's how you import. Because I'm importing bunch of libraries and bunch of modules here, so I'm just doing import. Within this brackets, I have bunch of imports. You know, usually in Python, usually in React, you just do import, or just do curly braces, put use states, use effects, or whatever you want to do, and then you do from. But look at this, guys. Within this import brackets, you can actually specify all the modules, and these are the modules that we're gonna be using in our Golang code. Okay, so this is our basically const here. We're just specifying our mnemonic, recipient mnemonic, chain ID, address prefix, node address, and these, by the way, are dummy mnemonics. So that's you guys, if just replace with your mnemonics here, and here I'm just using chain ID testnet, and also I'm using the node address, where obviously this is the node address that I will be communicating with, and that's our testnet node address. Okay, And here I'm just using address prefix test, and here I'm using chain ID test. If you guys want me to show you what this means, I will go to the definition, and within this chain ID, it is Coreum testnet one, because I'm obviously I'm trying to get the testnet, and that's literally what I'm doing right here. I'm doing constant because I've already imported this in literally right here. If you see constant, within this constant we have this information, right? If you can see right here, if you have a package of constant, and we have different information here, and that's what I'm doing literally. I'm just doing constant and doing chain ID test, and then I'm doing constant dot address prefix test. So let's see what is prefix text, which is test core, and then we have this node address, which I already explained you. This is like a Coreum testnet node address that we will be communicating with. And here we have few structs. We have response struct, we have a issue token request, and we have a transfer admin, we have clear admin. So this structure I'm explaining, and this will be structure that will be used for response when I'm actually gonna when this application will send a response. So it's going to be in this format. It's going to be in message, transaction, denom, and issuer address. Okay, and I'm going to explain you what that means later on. Here we have token issue request. Here we have symbol, subunit, position, initial amount. Then we have description. Okay, and then here we have transfer admin request, clear admin request. I think this is basic stuff, right? We are just putting the information that is needed. Similar with transfer admin rights, we need to include denom, new admin, that we're gonna be using new address for new admin. Once I transfer my admin request, for example, if I have an address A, another person have address B, I will basically use my address, to transfer my admin rights to the address B. So that's what that means. And here, obviously, you can also clear the admin request. Okay, and here we have function main. So before understanding the main function, let me scroll down and let me explain you this function first, because this is the function we're using in the main function. So this is basically, that's how you set up your client context. And by the way, with Golang we obviously start with func, func. In Rust we do fn. In Python there is define, obviously. And then in JavaScript we use const, or we can do arrow functions, or we can simply say a function, right? But in our Golang we use func. Here obviously the same way you do in other languages. And here we're just returning. This is the return. We're returning context, we're returning factory, address, and error. Okay, so yeah, here we're just nothing but literally doing simple stuff. We're just creating a basic manager. We're just communicating with our node address that I already mentioned what that means. And here we're also specifying the transport credentials, which is basically a concept of OLS layer. We have a transport layer, and that's what I'm doing right here. And here, just nothing but just for error handling. If error not equals to nil, then we're going to return the context, factory, nil, and error. Okay, and here all the basic stuff that we're doing, we're just creating a context, we're creating a factory, transaction factory, and here all that basic stuff, right? I mean, that's how we do. And as I mentioned, this function is returning context, factory, address, and error. And if I scroll down, that's literally what we're doing here, right? We are just returning this stuff. So yeah, let's go back to the main function, and literally that's what we're doing right here. If you see right here, we're just calling config. So in our Golang, what we do is, guys, we actually do config, and this is basically to use a short initialization. That's how we do it. Usually you do in a const, there's var, and that's how you do it. But here I think short initialization makes sense, and that's what we're doing here. And here we are nothing but just calling the get config, which is basically this function right here. and that's what we're doing here. Just to get the configuration here, we're just setting up the prefix, the coin type, and here we're just sealing it so that nobody can change these in this information, And here we're just creating a route, from mux. So mux is mux is like a library. I know, and within this library we can use a new router. And here we're just nothing but just creating our APIs. First API is gonna be the issue token. The another one is gonna be transfer admin. The other one is gonna be clear admin. Within this, I'm also specifying a callback function. So whenever someone is going to use this. If someone is going to issue the token, so this function will be triggered, which is called issue token handler, and obviously the method is going to be post because we're updating this stuff. So that's what that means. We're not trying to get any information because we're going to be doing that kind of stuff. Similar with transfer admin, similar with clear admin, and yeah, that's what that means. And here we're just doing middleware to ensure only localhost 3000 can communicate with this backend. We won't let anyone to communicate with our backend. That's why we use middleware. That's the important concept. And here, just nothing but we're just listening at 800 localhost. And if you guys remember, last 2 weeks ago, I already explained how you can issue a token. If you hopefully you guys remember, let me drink some water. Hang on, sorry about that. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so if you guys remember, I think we have already talked about this function, which is called issue token handler. But I will still explain you guys so that you guys can master this function, master what's happening. And yeah, so first thing, because we have already explained this struct, so what we're gonna do is now we have to initialize this struct in our issue token handler because we're gonna be using this information. We need this information, okay? And what we're doing is nothing but just doing var request. We're just calling this issue token request as req, just like in a short form. And that's what that literally means. And here what we're doing is, guys, we're saying if error equals to json.new decoder. So what we're doing here is really important concept. So whenever client sends a request, for example, I'm a client, I'm using any kind of web, or for example, if I'm communicating with this application, which I'm going to show you how it looks like. But client means like a front end app or API consumer. For example, he sends a request. So when the data is actually often included in the request body, which is in a JSON format, that's how it works. It's the request body is in JSON format. Then what happens is we decode the request body so that we can extract what is sent by the client, and that's why we decode the information. And that's what we're doing here. We're just decoding the information. If it's decoded, then it's cool. If it's not, it's gonna give us the error with a bad request. Okay. And here we're just doing nothing. We're just initializing the background. This background is also important. So this is a context. Within this context, so this context is actually, I'm actually talking about this context. Okay, so this context is actually used in Go. It means just to manage deadlines, cancel signals, or request scope values. Okay, that's literally what that means. Oops, sorry. Yeah, and here we're just calling our setup client context, and here we're just doing nothing but just doing destructuring. We're getting this information, right? We're doing client text, transaction factory, we're doing sender address, and we're doing address. Sorry, not address, but error. And if you guys remember, I have already explained you guys this function, which was right here. If you guys remember this, hopefully you guys remember this. right? And that's what this function is returning client, transaction factory, address, and nil. But here we're gonna be using error. Okay, and that's what we're doing right here, guys. Okay, here we're just nothing but just doing initializing our initial amount. If not okay, if it's not okay, then it's gonna be throwing an error by saying this is an invalid initial amount, and it's gonna show it's gonna throw a bad request. Okay, here we're just doing nothing. We're just initializing our message issue. So in our to issue a message, you have to use ACID FTT types. Okay, and you guys gonna be wondering what the hell is this and? The and is actually refers is actually a reference. So we're taking a reference. So reference is basically referring to a memory address, and that's what we're doing here. We're taking a reference of SZFT types and just to issue the message, And here we're just nothing but just broadcasting the transaction. And if you see right here, transaction response error, and then broadcasting the transaction. As I mentioned, this context is the first argument. So this context, as I explained to you, this is used for deadlines, for cancel signals, or for request scoped values right here. And if I scroll down, so this context will be actually used for any kind of like timeouts or any cancellations during the transaction broadcast. That's what it's going to be used for. And here we're just putting the address, transaction factory, and the message issue. If it's not, if the transaction has not been broadcasted, then there's going to be an error by saying, okay, there is an error with broadcasting transaction. And then once it's done, this will convert a ghost struct into a JSON, and it's going to send us the response. It's going to send the response to the front end. Okay. Okay. Cool. Now let's understand the transfer admin, which is this one. So transfer admin handler is pretty much similar. It's not similar with the token issue, obviously, but we're going to be using different message here. Similar process. As I explained to you, you have to do this. Once done, then we're going to be using a message transfer admin. So within this message transfer admin, this first we're using message issue class, and here we're going to be using where was I? Yeah, sorry. So yeah, right here. Within this our message transfer admin, we have sender, we have account, we have denom. Okay, so that's what we're doing right here. We're specifying our sender address, new admin, denom, because we have already initialized it. So I can just simply say request on new admin, and here I can say request denom, and here nothing but once I have once I have issued the message of transfer admin, here we're just gonna simply broadcast a transaction, and here we're just gonna just gonna give a response to the front end, right? So remember, this is important. Sender account and then denom for transfer admin, and boom, here we're just gonna say okay. Once it's done, it's gonna broadcast the transaction to the blockchain, which is our Coreum blockchain. That's gonna be broadcasting to the transaction. Here, if for example, if the transaction didn't go through, then there's going to be a bad status of internal server error, which is going to throw us a bad error of broadcasting transaction. Okay, so similar process. So now guys, we have to follow the same structure for a clear admin, but we're going to be using different message now, because for asset FTIs we have message transfer admin. Obviously for clear admin is going to be message clear admin, right? Similar with issue token, we're going to have a different message. We're going to have a message of issue, and here for clear admin, we're going to have a different stuff, right? So here, that's what we're doing here. Basic stuff, start with initializing your struct, uh, decoding the body, printing out, and then obviously we have to, again, use the background, setting up our clients. I think what we have been doing here. So once done, I think there's different here. We're just initializing our recipient address, and then here we're just obviously clearing. We're just initializing our message clear admin, and within our message clear admin is going to be sender. Okay, that's going to be a recipient address, and obviously denom. And here we're just doing nothing but just broadcasting the transaction, similar stuff. And then we are going to be sending a response, which is going to be admin writes cleared successfully, and we need a transaction hash, right? So yeah, guys, that's what the backend code is. Let me see if there's any questions. Uh, Guys, if there's any questions, let me know. Then I will just go ahead and explain you guys the front end part. If there's no questions, I'll just simply go ahead and explain you guys the front end, and yeah, I guess nothing else. I'll just wait for one more minute. Ask me any question, guys. I know that we're trying to learn here. I'm also trying to learn, and you guys are also trying to learn. So let's ask any questions or any concerns, and so let me know, guys. I will definitely try to explain you guys. Okay, no questions. I want I want to answer some questions, guys. Come on, let's ask some questions. So in that case, I will understand. Okay, you guys are following me. You know what I mean? Even if you're not following me, guys, stop me. I will just go back, or just comment me, or just just do a lot of comments. I will understand. Okay, there's guys asking me questions. Uh, okay, there's no questions. You know what, guys? You guys are actually smarter than me, so that's actually good. If not, yeah, that's a good question. What happens if the node you are using fails? Is it possible to communicate with multiple nodes? Yes, you can. That's actually a good question by Niles. Niles, thanks for the question. Yes, if the let me show you the address. For example, where did I spell? Yeah. So if this node address failed, right? If for example it happens, right? It's blockchain. If it's not if the communication is failing, what happens is that we can use different node. We have a different node which is called Pluto, and we have another node addresses as well. And obviously, you have DevNet addresses, you have mainnet. I never use the mainnet for building applications. Any when we're out obviously doing workshop, it's better to work on testnet or DevNet. But obviously, you can create a multiple nodes, and for example, you can also create a if or else condition here. For example, if this node address didn't work, use please a different address. If that address didn't work, please use different address. So definitely, Niles, we can use multiple nodes. Um, Hopefully I answered your question, but I think you can specify multiple addresses here. And as I mentioned, you have to use if else conditions to make sure that if one address failed, if the one communication failed, use another address, right? For example, let's go scroll down. Let's scroll down. If you see this function right here, we're using grpc.dial. We're just dialing it or trying to communicate with this our node address, right? Because now I have only specified one address, that's why it's gonna only show me if I show you right here. If I show you right here, it's showing me that full node testnet Coreum dev 9090 because I have only one address here, right? But that's actually a good. Maybe in the next workshop, what we can do is we can have a multiple nodes, and maybe you know what? I will try to have some fake node. Maybe that's not gonna work, and what's gonna happen is because it's not gonna communicate with the fake one, it's gonna communicate with our address. So that's actually a good idea, by the way. But yeah, hopefully I answer your question, Niles. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Sounds amazing. I don't see any other questions. Let's go to the okay. Let me show you the application first. Let's see how the application looks like, guys. I want to show you the application because you know what, guys. It's not like obviously for workshop guys. It's is basic front end, basic UI. But trust me, guys, I can make it more beautiful for you guys. Hopefully, after next workshop, I will make it more cool workshops. Maybe bring some gamify elements or some 3JS elements. Maybe more interactive, so that you guys can also communicate with the application. Make it more exciting. I know I'm just giving. Let me know. What my idea is for the workshop, guys. I know I'm just going out of topic here, but the goal for me is just to give you the basic knowledge first, understand how the Coreum blockchain works. Once you guys understand these concepts, what we're going to do is, guys, we will hop to some advanced stuff. Maybe next workshop could be some AI, or it could be some gamify. Maybe I show you how you can build some predictive models, and then how you can communicate with the blockchain, or some cool stuff. I haven't thought about it, but maybe for the next workshop, I'm gonna see if we have covered every single feature of Coreum. And once we're done with this basic stuff, where I'm gonna go to advanced stuff. Just build some cool stuff for you guys. So that's the goal. Okay, so this is kind of like, that's how the front end application looks like. uh, as I mentioned, it's a basic application. I know that you guys can build as well. Let me hide this. Okay, so this is the application, and this transfer admin ends for clear admin. That's what we're doing right here, right? So yeah, I guess let's hop back to the app, front end application. I will just quickly explain you guys what's really happening here, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna just play with this application. We're just gonna issue some token class. We're gonna transfer the admin rights. We're just gonna clear the admin rights. Okay, so hopefully you guys will enjoy. Uh, so let's go back to the application. Let me see if any concerns or any questions. Okay, there is no questions, which is cool. All right, cool. All right, let's go to the application. Let's go to the first. Let's go back to the API. API.js. So guys, whenever you try to communicate, right? Here, our front end is communicating with the back end. Because now in our Golang, I've already specified the APIs, which is issue token, transfer admin, and clear admin, right? So now in our API.js, you can also fetch, but I actually love this library called Axios, because it also has some error handling built in. That's why I use this Axios. And because I've already told you, the method is going to be post, because we're going to be updating the information. We're going to be issuing the class. So we cannot do get. We're not getting the information, because we're also updating the information, right? I'm going to be issuing the token. So obviously you have to use post. So here we're just creating a function of issuing a class. We're just creating a function of transfer admin. Here we're just sorry. Here we're just creating a function of clear admin. So whenever you are I think I've told you guys many times. So whenever you communicate with a database, if you're communicating with APIs or anything like that, always use try, catch in functions, and always use asynchronous. That's what we're doing, right? And that's what I'm doing here. I'm using try. If there is any issue, obviously if the issue token API works, then it's good. We're gonna be issuing the token. If it's not, it's gonna be throwing me an error. That's what we're doing here. Similar with issuing a class. um, Nothing but just doing axios.post. I have already specified the URL here. I think this basic stuff, guys, right? That's how you communicate with the backend. And similar with our transfer admin, similar with the clear admin, right? That's what we're doing right here. In our app. Sorry. So in our app.js, because I've already explained you guys this issue class, transfer admin, and clear admin, in app.js, I'm actually importing this from this API.js, right? Issue class, transfer admin, and clear admin. And I'm going to be communicating with these functions later on. Okay. Um, and then what we're doing here is, okay, so obviously this is a function, main application function. Within this function, we have use states. Okay. Within this use states, we have different use states, right? We have for issuing class data, we have admin, and we have set clearing data, because that's what we need, right? This is the data that we want. Okay, and that's why we're specifying right here. I'm going to explain to you how and why we're going to be updating this set class. So let's explain you right here. So here I'm just nothing but just using handle class data change, handle admin change, handle clear data change. So what's happening here is, guys, whenever I'm gonna change something on the front end, so these functions will be triggered, right? And that's what we're doing right here. We're just updating the information. That's what use state does. At the moment, class data is empty, right? This class data is empty. Symbol subunit position is 6 because I've already specified right here. Initial amount description is going to be empty because I'm now using set class data. So set class data is usually used to update the information, right? And that's what we're doing here. Here we're just updating the information, and here the cooler stuff. So here we have function of handler issue, handle of transfer admin, and handling the clear admin. Okay. The first one we're doing here is, because I've already specified the API for an API issue class, so I'm just calling that function. I'm just passing in the parameter, which is the class data. The class data is this one right here. That's what we have to do, right, to issue the class. And here we're just doing basic stuff. We're just doing getting our issuing address. We're getting class data subunit and issue address. And once everything is successful, as I mentioned, we're going to be using try catch here. Once everything is good, then it's gonna throw us a transaction hash that okay, the token has been issued, and then obviously we're gonna see the transaction hash. If not, then we're gonna see an error. Okay, similar with transfer admin, we're gonna be obviously calling this transfer admin that I've already specified in our API.js. We're gonna be communicating with this function. Similar toast success. Okay, that admin has been transferred. And then obviously we're going to be using the handle clear admins, similar stuff. We're going to be calling the function and all that basic stuff, right? And here we have the simple CSS styles that I'm using. I'm using some imports, motion. I'm using framer motion for some little bit of animation on the background. And I'm just using some chevrons and all that basic CSS styling. I'm not going to go fully explaining what is the CSS. I think hopefully you guys know what CSS is. And here I'm just nothing but here we're just nothing but just specifying the CSS. I'm using Tailwind. You guys can use Bootstrap or whatever CSS you guys want to use, but usually in the industry people use Bootstrap or Tailwind. Tailwind is actually really in. I love Tailwind CSS. You can customize, you can play with it. I love it. Hopefully you guys also enjoy it. So yeah, here we have tab buttons, by the way. We have tab buttons. So whenever I'm just specifying an event here. So whenever I'm gonna issue a class, these functions or these buttons will be triggered. And that's what we want, right? We want them to be triggered so that we can communicate with our application. And yeah, that's what's literally going on. And now let's go back to the front-end application. Guys, any questions before going back to the application or no? Okay, we don't have any questions. That's cool. Let's go back to the application. I don't know why. Okay, never mind. So let's go to the React application here. Okay, so let's issue the class. I know that Michael from our team has sent me some token name. So he told me to specify Codius. Okay, let's do that. Codius. What we can do is we can say Codius. We can say Codius coin, and initializing is like 100. 0 is actually 6, so let's make sure it's 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have Codius coin. And here we're just gonna be issuing a class, right, guys? I just have triggered this button right here. Now, if you can see right here, we have a transaction which is successful, which is good. We don't have any errors right now, so I'm happy about that. So I'm using MintScan right now because I know that we have always been using our Explorer. So I'm gonna go and just enter, and here we have the information, guys. Okay, so now the Codius sample has been in the Coreum blockchain, not on the mainnet, on the testnet, So initial amount is this amount. We have a description of Codius coin, and then we have a test score issuer. That's my address, so I'm issuing this coin, right? And all that basic stuff. Okay, cool. Let's go to the console and to see the information. Okay, now if you guys can see right here, we're using token issue with denom. So I'm just gonna copy this denom in my console. I can copy in the MintScan too, but I want to show how you guys can do through console. I'm gonna go to this transfer admin. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna go to my Kepler. By the way, you guys can do the same thing. Obviously, because now I'm actually transferring the admin rights. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the Kepler account, copy this address, gonna copy my address, boom, and now I'm just gonna specify right here. Now I'm gonna trigger this function. Okay, hopefully we don't have any issues. Let's wait. I have transferred the admin, boom. Okay, now if you can see, this is a toast container that we got right here on our top right corner. I'm gonna copy this transaction hash, gonna go right here, boom. Now if you can see, this transaction has been successful. And now if you can see right here, we have a type, we have a sender, we have a account, we have address. So now I'm just gonna copy the denom. Just gonna copy one more time. Gonna go to the now, because now we have transferred the admin rights. Let me show you the event logs as well. So these are the event logs, right? If you want to see this message, you can see the message. You want to see the transferred, that's being the current admin. And if you want to see the deterministic gas message URL and the real gas, okay. And then we can go to the clear admin, copy the denom, right? The denom that we did. Let's go back again if you have any problem. So let's go again. Okay, I'm just gonna have already copied the denom. Okay, boom. Now specify the denom right here to just clear the admin rights. And now I'm just clearing the admin rights. Boom, I have triggered the functionality. Okay, so if you guys can see on the right top corner, you guys can see right, okay, that admin rights has been cleared. We got the transaction hash. We're gonna go to the MintScan, go to this the search thing, and boom, search for it. And now you guys can see the transaction hash. Now let's see the message, right? So indeed, the message is clear admin. Sender is this, and the denom is obviously this. And yeah, guys, that's all actually. That's basically it for the transfer admin, for clear admin, and yeah, pretty much that's what's going on with this with these functionalities and issuing class. Hopefully, guys, you guys understood. I think this was a basic workshop. I don't think I have. Hopefully, you guys understood what's going on. But yeah, guys. Also, I actually forgot to show you guys something important. Look at our terminal, by the way. So whenever we issue a token, and whenever we are transferring the admin rights and clearing the admin rights, you guys can see the backend, right? The backend is getting triggered because our front end is communicating with our backend. How? How is it communicating, guys? By Axios. We're using Axios, right? And posting the information. That's how you communicate with the backend. And you guys can also see that our backend is also executing the transaction hashes, also showing us different information. That's what we're literally doing here, guys. You know what I mean? And yeah, so that's all for today's workshop. Let's let's ask. Let's wait for any questions, guys. If you have any questions, uh, yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any questions. I'm gonna wait for 2 or 3 more minutes. So yeah, guys, that's all for today's workshop. I'm just looking at some people if they're okay. I don't see any questions here. Let's ask them some question, guys. Hopefully, you guys understood the concept here. Green means go, coin holder. Yes, yes, coin holder. You're a genius, man. All the respects goes to you, man. And thanks for the cool name. I like the name, Codius coin. Sorry. Okay, I don't see any questions. Um, that means what I understand from this is that you guys are hopefully you guys understood the concept, which I think so you guys did. If not, you know what, guys, please go to our Discord. Yes, Cody is exactly. That's a cool name, by the way. Really cool name. I like the name. I like the name. It's a little bit. I'm thinking. You know, it's a really cool name. But yeah, for if you guys have any questions related to dev, I would say go to our Discord. Just ping us there, and any questions regarding anything, guys, uh, regarding these slides, regarding anything, just ping us there, and I think we're definitely uh, gonna obviously answer you guys there. But guys, it was nice catching up with you today. You know, uh, the Friday is really close. You know, so you guys have a good weekend. You know, we had a long weekend last week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I did enjoy. I actually had a really good time. You know, I actually ate a lot of good food. uh, and then this weekend I'm just gonna rest. Yes, Cody is bringing back good memories. Oh, okay. I think we gotta talk about this, man. What are the memories? But do ping me on Discord. We're gonna talk about this later. But other than that, guys, it was nice talking to you, and I appreciate you guys for joining. Until then, we're gonna talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you guys next week. We're gonna have 2 workshops, hopefully, and both workshops are gonna be cooler. And then we're gonna have more cool workshops with you guys. Maybe one of you guys come to our workshop, live workshop, and you guys join us, and then maybe you guys ask me questions or anything like that. Maybe more interactive, I would say. You know, but yeah, guys, it was nice catching up with you. Obviously, uh, not ping me, ping Coreum, on Twitter, and then ping us on Discord, as I mentioned. And then I'm just forgetting if I don't think I have anything else. I don't think I do. And yeah, guys, I'll talk to you guys next week. It was nice catching up with you. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the workshop. Until then, talk to you guys later. Peace out, guys.